Hello everybody, Mehdi is here again with another video. Today I want to share with you 10 great, sexy and cheap men's fragrances in my collection. At first, be sure that you subscribe to channel to get notifications by my new uploads. I want to start by Missoni EDP at number 10 spot. This is a very great, similar and alternative fragrance, cheap alternative fragrance for Bleu de Chanel EDT. Compared to Bleu de Chanel, it smells more herbal, a bit in the herbal side. That fragrance is a bit in the fresh side, like more lavender basil here. You can get some green notes here more compared to Bleu de Chanel. There is not incense note here. It is a bit fresher version of Bleu de Chanel without incense, by more lavender, like Fougere Bleu de Chanel. Performance is better compared to Bleu de Chanel EDT. I can say in the brief, performs like EDP and smells like EDT version of Bleu de Chanel. Not identical 100%, but you're gonna catch like 60 to 70% similarities. DNA of Bleu de Chanel is a very lady pleaser, very sexy. Ladies love the way that this fragrance smells. It is not as big as Bleu de Chanel in terms of getting compliments. By considering the price tag, it is very acceptable and successful. By 25 bucks maximum for 100 ml, you cannot go wrong absolutely by this masterpiece, Missoni EDP. At number 9 spot, a very great and sexy cheap fragrance, Salvatore Ferragamo UOMO Casual Life. Very sexy smelling fragrance. Beautiful sprayer. Look at this. This is just delicious. It's like mix of coffee, mint and lemon together. Like you are drinking lemonade and you have your tiramisu on the table. Very sexy and mouth-watering type of fragrance. Ladies love this fragrance. For me, performance is okay because it is gourmand fragrance and has the potential to be like 10 hours, 12 hours plus by beastly projection and serious, but it is not like that. It is like 5-6 hours by first hour room filler projection and second hour average. It is good compared to lots of fragrances, but for a gourmand fragrance, it is not a successful performance in my opinion. Could be like 12 hours plus beastly, but it's okay. You're gonna get easily noticed and you can apply it during the day countless by this price, 30 bucks for 100 ml. You cannot go wrong by Salvatore Ferragamo UOMO Casual Life. Let's continue by House of Versace. Versace EROS Flame. I really like this fragrance. I prefer it over regular Versace EROS. Has more weight to it, more complexity, and it smells better to my taste. I like that woodsy notes in this fragrance and it smells more mature, I can say, not juvenile like Versace EROS, but projection is not as big as Versace EROS, the regular one. But by newer batches, I can say this one is even better in terms of projection and longevity. I can get like 7-8 hours plus by this fragrance. Lasts, I can say also 9 hours, but touchable, acceptable, 7-8 hours. By first hour projection, average to poor projection. After that is strong skin scent. It smells intensely, but it doesn't project that far, I can say. If you have smelled Versace EROS, the regular one, it smells like happy, youthful apple pie. This fragrance is a bit like mature, again youthful, creamy orange pie. That pie vibe is available here, but by another fruit, I can say. Smells to my taste more delicious compared to regular EROS and very sexy fragrance. If you go by 200 mls, you can find it like 60 bucks, which means 30 bucks for 100 ml and very cheap. Versace EROS Flame. Let's continue by House of Bentley. Bentley Momentum Intense. All we know how sexy Carolina Herrera CH Man is. This fragrance is clone of that fragrance by a very great high quality. The house is legit, but the juice inside is cologne, highly inspired, copy paste, I can say, by a little bit differences, like 2-3%. So it smells sugary, grassy, muddy, bitter and sweet in the same time. Bitter because of that muddy vibe, sweet because of that sugary vibe, and it smells green because of that grass note. Compared to Carolina Herrera CH Man, leans a bit less sugary, and at the dry down you feel some powderiness, like powderiness in Prada Luna Rosa Black. Just 5% differences, little differences at the dry down. The rest is 95% copy paste. Performance is average by this fragrance, but compared to Carolina Herrera CH Man, it is on a steroid version of that fragrance. By other fragrances, it is average, like 6 hours. By 2 hours projection, but projection at first hour is like average, and very soft. At second hour is like a skin scent, but you're gonna get noticed around 2 hours by this fragrance. And very great compliment getter and very great choice for close encounters and date situations. Bentley Momentum Intense. Next fragrance is from House of Abercrombie and Fitch. First Instinct Blue. It smells like those heavy header blue fragrances out there, closer to Versace Dylan Blue. Compared to that fragrance, it is less mature, I can say more youthful, a bit sweeter, more fruity, more floral compared to Versace Dylan Blue, but shares a lot of similarities, like 60%. Amber Accent is here available, and apple. I can catch such a fresh green apple here, which is not in the Versace Dylan Blue. Apple is main player here, patchouli, a bit florals, and Amber Accent for sure. Compared to Versace Dylan Blue, smells more playful, youthful, and less, I can say, aggressive. Performances, honestly, it is not good. 3-4 hours on the skin, and in terms of projection, you're gonna get 1 hour projection. First half an hour average, second half an hour poor or very airy, but you're gonna get noticed. For first hour, it is a very successful, sexy lady pleaser fragrance, especially for first dates. Let's continue by a very great job from House of Armaf, easily at top 5 best Armaf fragrances in my opinion, and at all doesn't get that much love or talk. Very underrated, unfairly underrated gem. Armaf Excellus shares a lot of similarities by line of CH-Men by House of Karen Herrera, because then both fragrances, CH-Men, CH-Men Privé, I can get some similarities here. For example, a bit booziness of CH-Men Privé, a bit that smooth leather note, a bit grassiness, sugariness of regular CH-Men, and some citruses, which is take of Armaf, and vanilla. Here, instead of that sugary sweetness, we have slightly sugariness and more vanilla plus citruses. You can check out my full comparison between this CH-Men and Bentley Momentum Intense. Compared to Bentley Momentum Intense, Armaf Excellus is more complex. I prefer it better. It is not linear like this fragrance. You feel some beautiful journey of notes on your skin. Sometimes get woodsier, sometimes you feel booziness, sometimes you feel vanilla, but this one is linear, directly goes until last of the life of the fragrance. A bit boring, I can say. In terms of getting compliments, both fragrances are very great lady pleaser. This fragrance is better. Why? Because gets compliments than both type of ladies, mature and younger, but this one is a bit from mature ladies. I prefer this one better. Honestly, I enjoy it better, but this one is better compliment getter. This one is winner. Let's continue by a very great, expensive smelling cheap fragrance. Smells legit. It smells like $300, but the price is around $30-40. From House of Rochas, MOUSTACHE. Just smells perfect. This is about a lot of notes going on here. I don't want to that much give a review here. It's like rose, sweetness, candyish sweetness, and a bit hint of citruses, a bit at the background. You can feel it by some dusty, papery atmosphere which comes from resin and very smooth. But main players are that rose and candyish vibe. Like candied rose, performance is okay, 6-7 hours, and projection is good, average, noticeable, not bad. It is okay. Man, I can't stop smelling this. They cannot guess this fragrance is around $30. It is impossible. It smells like $200-300. It smells like dressed up, sexy, and a bit unisex. Rochas Moustache. Let's continue by a very dangerous fragrance. Sexy cheapie. Montblanc Legend Esprit. It is in genre of Invictus Aqua 2016, Versace Havas. But compared to those fragrances, this one leans less bubblegummy, I can say. I can catch that bubblegumminess, that mouth-watering bubblegumminess, but less compared to those fragrances. A bit more citrusy, I can say. So imagine Versace Havas Invictus Aqua 2016 in the citrusy side, but shares that bubblegumminess and aquaticness. Performance is like 4-5 hours. This is not a great performer, honestly. Projection is also like that, like first hour noticeable, average. I suggest you apply it on the clothing, then you can have it up to 8 hours by 1.5 hours projection. It is not long-lasting, big-time projector type of fragrance, but in that 1 hour, you can catch a lot of things that you cannot catch by a lot of other fragrances in 12 hours. This is a very crazy lady pleaser. Smells a bit synthetic, a bit cheap at the dry down. It's not as beautiful as opening in the dry down, but ignore it because of that big complimenting factor from ladies. At number 2 spot, a next level fragrance. At top 10 most complimented fragrances in entire my collection in the niche and designers, hands down. Versace Pour Homme. House is well known and legit. Juice is very quality. Smells unique, aquatic, citrusy by hint of florals at the back. Close to Chanel Allure Sport. By considering the price tag, you cannot go wrong by this one. If you go buy 200 ml bottles like this, is around $60. If you go buy 100 ml bottles, it's around 40 bucks something. So it is better to go buy 200 ml in my opinion. Scent profile of this fragrance is just pleasant. King of versatility, very versatile fragrance. Dressed up, dressed on, gym, indoor, outdoor, date, hands down. In first hour, this fragrance is one of the biggest complimented fragrances in the entire my collection. At first hour, this fragrance is like nuclear, kills everybody around. Versace Pour Homme. At number 1 spot, hands down sexiest cheapie fragrance right now in the market. Montblanc Explorer. When it came, I said to you, it is 110 bucks. Absolutely don't purchase by this price. You can check out that video. It is around 30 bucks because I know House of Montblanc is a cheapie house. So right now is a great price for this fragrance. It is eau de parfum, lasts long on my skin. Gets a lots of hate, but I don't know what you want than a fragrance. By 30 bucks, you cannot go wrong by this scent profile. Performance is like 10 hours plus on the skin. Lasts and lasts, but projection is not that great. It's like 1 hour. Projects, push, average at first hour. After that is strong skin scent for 2-3 hours more. Like 5 centimeter, maximum 10 centimeter something. Strongly, intensely smells. This is very great fragrance for close encounters, but it's much close encounters. Thank you for spending time with me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up. It means a lot for me. Stay safe. See you in another video.